what Ryan Poles has done in actually investing in the offensive line is something that people are taking notice of. It's something that makes sense. Now, the question is can you do anything consistently? And if the Bears are able to do that consistently, that's what's going to start changing things for this team. But you have to do it consistently. And if you don't, you're just going to be in the same place where we're just looking at things and saying, well, I mean, he spent more money, but what was the real result? This is one of the first years, and maybe in my lifetime, where the Bears, the combination of money that was spent on extensions, money that was also spent in getting these guys in here in trades, and draft capital as far as drafting Haize Trapillo and Luke Newman, this has probably been one of the years that the Bears have ever spent the most money on the trenches and the offensive line. And so, you want to see that, and DeAndre Swift knows, like we've been saying, I always like to go to Crimson because he was the first one to make this point, but like DeAndre Swift, as a veteran running back in this league, knows how much a good blocking game, a good offensive line helps a running back. It does so much for a running back to be able to have a offensive line that you trust is going to be able to open those gaps, and that's what Ryan Poles has really built here. Versatile offensive linemen that are good in the run, good in the pass, and we should see a considerable step up. And then you also factor in having Dan Rouchar. Like, you didn't just go out and spend money on just the personnel. You also got a renowned offensive line coach in Dan Rouchar to come in here and coach this group, which means that's good for your rookie in Haize Trapillo. That's good for your third-year guy in Darnell Wright. That's good for the overall setting the expectation of what you want on the offensive line and scheming and having these guys prepared. So it's been a noticeable investment to get this offensive line and where it needs to be. And the one thing that we have left to prove on it is, can you do it on the football field? It's great to talk about, like, on paper, yeah, the Bears have a great offensive line. There's some question about the depth, right? That's something me and Pat talked about over on ESPN Chicago yesterday. Like, it's the depth is a question there, and we gotta look at that depth and see how that's going to end up developing. But you got a guy like Ryan Bates, who the Bears thought was going to be a starter last year. He's now depth for you. You got a guy in either Haize Trapillo or Braxton Jones. One of those guys are going to be moved to the bench. That's going to be solid, I think, in that role, especially Haize Trapillo being able to be a swing tackle, play the left or right tackle if he doesn't win the starting position. I'm not mad at that either if that ends up being the case. Luke Newman is a guy that I think could turn some heads as well. Ricky Stromberg's still here. Theo Benedict. Like, I think they got some guys that they feel confident in. The question is that confidence actually going to pay off on the football field? And that's the thing that we don't have the answer for yet. We only get that when you're on the football field, but it seems like things are going in the right direction. And the Bears have now turned possibly one of their biggest weaknesses to one of their biggest strengths